Your first author tonight was inspired once he learned in writing class that authors tend to be regarded as experts on the subject matter on which they write. Ablaze with inspiration and a desire to find out what it's like to be good at sex stuff, Virgil quickly became a best-selling author with the novel A First Time for Everything, right? And the short story anthology Latex Expires. Here to read from his new book, True Passion, ladies and gentlemen, Virgil Weaver.
Manny Braverton saw her. To anyone else, she simply walked past, but Manny's eyes gazed as he witnessed a goddess in a flowing white gown glide through the garden just outside of the library. The aura of Lily of the Valley was lifted into the breeze by her dress that rippled in the wind. To Manny, this was a solemn experience. He was completely enwrapped within the moment of her majesty. Jennifer's eyes darted to the side and met with Manny's. She stopped. "Do I know you?" "No," he replied, "but I feel as though I've always known you. When I saw you, I told myself that I'd be a fool if I didn't try to get your attention in an attempt to woo you. You are truly a goddess among insects, and I would very much like the honor of showing you a good time." Jennifer blushed. "My name is Jennifer Braverton," Manny said. "Manny Braverton." Jennifer's eyes, like two azure pools of eternity, sparkled. "So, what did you have in mind?" Manny, staring back into her eyes, staring right into the endless beauty of eternity, said, "We'll go to my favorite restaurant, followed by a film at the cinema, and finally we'll go back to my place and see where the night takes us." Jennifer gently pushed one of her curly red bangs out of her eyes. "How about we go to my favorite restaurant instead?" "Okay," Manny said. "Where to?" Jennifer smiled and erupted with, "White Castle." "What a coincidence," replied Manny. "That's my favorite place, too." He took her by the hand and they strolled tenderly through the garden towards White Castle. But first they stopped and sat on the bench in the park. "Oh, Manny," Jennifer pined. "Oh, Jennifer, your beauty is beyond description." Then they sat closer to each other. Da- Dana, Dana, it's that part. Just read that part.
Really?
Then he touched some of her parts, and she touched his part, and then they made out. They made out. They made out for a long time. Manny Braverton kept touching her parts, and she kept touching his part, and they kept making out. Manny totally knew when to stop making out, so they stopped and then walked to White Castle. Okay.
I didn't know there'd be so many girls here. She wrapped her lips around the plastic straw and took the orange Fanta deep into her. The tingling sensation on her tongue caused a brief moan of surprised pleasure as she kept sucking. Manny watched her intently and licked his lips as she pressed her fingertips into the soft, pliable bun of her double slider with jalapeno cheese. The glistening bun felt good against Manny's hand, and Jennifer never experienced anything like it. She wanted his hot, rigid fries in her. She tried to take one without asking. Manny slapped her hand and moved his sack away. "You'll have to ask nicely for it." They shared their lust for pickles and fried onions, went straight to their heads. Before they knew it, they skipped the movie and went straight back to Manny's place. Fortunately, his roommate did what he was asked and removed all the comic books and action figures from the living room, along with their Lord of the Rings weapons replica, leaving the walls a bit bare. He even got rid of the throw blanket that has a picture of the Death Star on it, but it's painted to look like a giant Pokeball. Um, Pull the shades, Jennifer said. Manny lit candles and transformed his living room into a den of animalistic passions. He he sat close. He sat close to. He sat close. Dana, Dana, just just a little part. Just that.
Oh, buddy. He he sat close to her and took out his latex prophylactic. He knew that they were about to do it, but he didn't want them to get an AIDS baby. They both got naked and did it. He was really good at it, and the candlelight made her look a whole lot like Willow from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He touched her woman parts, and she touched his boy part. Later, they got married and did it so many times that she finally got a baby in her belly.
Manny married not only the love of his life, but also his best friend's sister's friend. The end. Yeah. Do you, uh, do you, anybody have any questions?